after 2 long weeks, one of which where I was seeing double throughout most of it, we are back here, Degenwrestling, here with you. I'm Nathan, he's Ben, but, before we go too far into this, we missed a pay-per-view.
We didn't miss it. We seen it.
Like we saw it, but we didn't predict it.
Well, we predicted it,
but we didn't predict it on air.
Video up.
We didn't predict it on air because for the most part I was seeing double, and
I thought working 60 hours a week, if not more.
Yeah, no. So basically, this is what we mean by work happens, life happens. My life, basically, I pinched a nerve in my neck, and it got increasingly worse over the week. I thought I could rehab it. I couldn't. I was ending up seeing double. Ben was with me when we were watching the PLE. I am laying down just dead throughout most of it.
I thought he was going to fall asleep.
But that doesn't mean it was a bad PLE. It was actually really freaking good. Backlash 2024. We didn't feel it was necessary to make a video about predictions because, quite frankly, we both saw it and were like, oh, cool, same things. You work 60 hours a week. I can see like two of you right now.
Yeah.
I don't really want to go ahead and make a video. And then it turns out we got perfect predictions. All the way across the board. So for those of you...
It's very difficult not to get perfect predictions in. I gotta say that, though.
Well, I mean, we're streaking. We're streaking. This is 2 years in a row, I think, at least for me, probably for you, where we ended up getting every pick right.
Absolutely.
But that being said, the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga defeated Team RKO, which is the second best use of RKO in a team name. Bailey defeated Tiffany Stratton and Waste of Space. Damian Priest defeated Jey Uso. Jade Cargill and Friend defeated the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. And Cody Rhodes beat AJ Styles in a tremendous match.
Great match, yeah.
And here's the thing about Backlash, and it was true for Backlash Puerto Rico too. The crowd on Fuego.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They were into everything all night, to the point where it almost got annoying.
Yeah, they were just happy that there was a premium live event happening.
But they were, like, you can see why.
Yeah.
This crowd was WWE's highest gate. Because it feels like they paid through the nose to be there, they could say whatever they want and do whatever they wanted.
The cheapest ticket was like $300 a ticket.
Yeah, and it was an absolutely insane crowd. This is what happens when you get like 11,000 hardcore fans.
So the pricing for Backlash for tickets was absolutely insane to be able to get a ticket for, because WWE didn't take a payday to go there. They went there without being paid by Lyon, and then so they had to raise ticket prices.
And
that's why it's the highest gate.
And it worked.
Yeah.
But that being said, if you're gonna have a B show, like a B PLE show, make it this one. Like, this should be your standard.
I'm gonna say this is a B. Backlash is a B show.
It hasn't been the past couple of years.
No, I was gonna say it's more like a C show, if anything.
But even then, it's performing like...
Oh yeah, it's performing really well.
Yeah. That being said, our match of the week for Backlash week was Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles. It was tremendous. If you want to make the argument for Bloodline versus Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, you can. If you want to make the argument even for Damian Priest and Jey Uso, you can. If you want to make an argument for the official that officiated Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus the Kabuki Warriors to be fired, absolutely. If it were my company, I'd fire him.
Terrible.
Because I'm sorry, I don't blame the Kabuki Warriors at all.
No.
I don't blame Jade Cargill at all.
No.
And 9 times out of 10, throughout this match, I don't even blame Bianca Belair. The way that this match broke down was because of the official. So
yeah, there was like a very dull 3 minutes because of the official. Hey, Kyrie, you're not the legal person. You can't pin her. Meanwhile, what was it? 20 seconds earlier, he was counting a pin on Kyrie.
Yep.
Yep.
And he did that throughout the rest of the thing.
And then he accepted the tag from Asuka to her. And it's like, what?
Yep. The other thing too, Kairi Sane was the legal woman when Bianca Belair pinned Asuka.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but she was. And if I were WWE, I would have given Bianca dressing down for that. I get that the whole thing was kind of nuts, but at the end of the day, that's not the fault of the Kabuki Warriors. That is not the fault of Jade Cargill. That is not the fault of Bianca Belair. It is an official's job to make sure that all of that is kept track of. And the other thing too, if it was a language barrier, which I see a lot of people saying, the referee has a 5 count to utilize in this match because there were disqualifications. He just chose not to.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense from a competition standpoint.
No.
I don't know if there was a reason in kayfabe why, but it makes no sense from a competition standpoint. Your referee has tools to allow them to keep order. Why in the world do you just say, okay, yeah, screw it? But that being said, though, it was a great card. The crowd was absolutely nuts. If you haven't seen Backlash, go see it. It's a lot of fun.
The views, at least for the premium live events, were not great. It was actually one of their worst viewed in the past little bit, from what I understand. But it was really good.
Yeah.
But when you get a pay-per-view that you know the outcome of every match on the card and you don't feel like you don't need to watch, you're not going to watch. Yeah. Unless you're like us and end up
and really like the craft. So here's the thing. Intrigue and story.
Yeah.
I think are what was missing from this show. And there would have been a really easy way to build something here. So Walter just lost the Intercontinental Championship. Cody Rhodes is a new champion.
Yep.
Or if you want to go the other way, Damian Priest is a new champion. But Walter is a challenger to end all challengers. You put him in there against one of them, probably Cody. That's a money match right there.
Well, it wouldn't get put against Cody because they're on separate brands.
Yeah. But you get the point. It doesn't matter if it's Cody versus Damian Priest. Or, sorry, it doesn't matter if it's Cody or if it's Damian. It wouldn't matter. You put Walter there, which you've spent over 2 years cultivating. You put him there to see what he could do. I don't know. I think it's a big missed opportunity.
It would have made a lot more sense for the Judgment Day to interfere in that match than the Jey Uso one.
Yes.
Especially if they're not going to pay off the Judgment Day messed up again.
Yeah.
Just have them attack Walter in that match.
Yeah,
which facing Damian Priest.
Yeah.
And don't have them mess it up.
Yep, which again, all things being clear, they did something very similar to the Bloodline like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
with the bloodline messing up and everything's kumbaya. And they did something similar to the Judgment Day. Judgment Day messes up, kumbaya. At some point, if you're Triple H, you need to learn to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And that is the one thing I will criticize about Triple H's booking. You get great matches, great builds to feuds, but when it's time for those feuds to pay off, they will often pay off 6 months to a year after it was peak time to.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a Triple H issue, a TKO Holdings issue. I don't know what it is, but it's a legit criticism against Triple H as far as I'm concerned. But that being said, you are going to have a ball if you go ahead and watch Backlash.
Absolutely.
That being said, from one company to another, you came here, and we were talking before the show about a certain other head of the snake of a wrestling company who believes his wrestling company is better than the WWE.
Yeah, Tony Khan.
Tony Khan.
Tony Khan says that, or in his mind at least, he believes that he has the better athletes and the better personalities of the top guys in the company right now. Now, what I posed to Nathan was, who does he have at the top of the company that's actually made by AEW and not by, say, New Japan, TNA, or WWE, that he can boldly make the claim that it's because of him and his company that these guys have that opportunity?
So first things first, MJF.
Yeah.
MJF is the one that I think you and I agreed on.
He's the number one. And number two, I have to say, is Hangman, Adam Page.
Yeah, I can see Adam Page. He was somewhere else, but they did cultivate him a heck of a lot more in AEW than anywhere else. And he's also the kind of person who could be built in AEW better than anywhere else.
Absolutely.
And there is something to be said about some of the athletes that Tony Khan has right now, or some of
absolutely,
or some of the stories that Tony Khan has right now. You were saying Christian is having his best gimmick, potentially ever, but again, it's stars built in AEW, and
that I was because a lot of them are like WWE
say what you
guys.
Want. A lot of them are WWE guys. Or they have made their mark. If you're Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, you have made your mark in the indies around the world. If you're Sting, you have made your mark everywhere around the world. If you're Edge, you're a WWE lifer that went to AEW because they got your best friend.
And then even Jericho,
even then, WWE, WCW, New Japan.
Yeah. Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, Claudio.
Yeah. All those guys who are your top athletes, your top guys, weren't built by AEW.
Now, there are arguments to be made for, say, like Swerve Strickland.
I could see it. I want to see Swerve in about 6 months. I could see Swerve in about 6 months.
There's arguments to be made about Toni Storm because she's doing the best work she ever has.
Yeah.
And she was never, for some reason, the top person where she went until AEW, where she was presented like a top person basically from the start.
Yep.
Then you got like Julia Hart, one of the youngest, fastest rising talents in freaking AEW.
Yeah. You've got Britt Baker.
Yeah.
Perfect example. She's one of the pillars they built it on. Like, I'm sorry.
Kazuchika Okada. You bring in Jay White, Will Ospreay. Yeah. All your top stars are either former WWE or New Japan people, besides like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And here's characters.
And here's the thing: when you talk about what constitutes a star,
Yeah.
MJF, cool. Britt Baker, sure. Other than those two, can you look at somebody's body of work and say, boom, instant star, or this person is going to be a star in like a year? Because we can look at people like Julia Hart, Sky Blue,
Yeah.
pretty well the entirety of AEW's women's division. We can look at people like Darby Allin and, see the potential there and think they could be stars if they're built right in the next couple of years. You can look at Danhausen and see, like, just a mad genius billion-dollar franchise right there that is available whenever Tony Khan wants to pay him all the monies. But that being said, if you're going to make an argument like this, I would argue that you don't make it until 2 or 3 years more where you don't have to rely on your Bryan Danielsons, your Claudios, your Jerichos,
Yeah.
even your Omega and your Young Bucks. When you don't have to rely on the established talent and you can bring in guys that are either their best selves in AEW or were made in AEW, that's when you can go and say, we've got the best athletes, we've got the best stars, all of this other stuff.
No, but that's no knock on the stars that he does have. That
absolutely not.
Like, they're great. There's a reason that they're able to get someone like an MJF to the level he is at.
Yeah.
Which somehow is above pretty much any top star they have.
I would argue it's above any top star.
That's what I mean.
If I were building a wrestling company from the ground up, MJF is who I want as my number 1 draft pick.
Yeah. Nathan wants to make him the women's champion and make
No, give him all the gold. If there is one man who could pull off having the women's championship better than Batista, it is Maxwell Jacob Friedman, because he could pull off anything.
I thought it was going to be James Ellsworth because of the...
No. I would have loved to have seen him with the WWE Championship. I'm the only person... Oh. I'd love to see Ellsworth with all the gold. But,
the only person.
I realize I am the only person who wants to see James Ellsworth with all the gold. But that being said, here's the thing. Why make this argument now? You've got a TV deal in place. You've got streaming rights deal in place, I believe, with Max. What do you have to prove by making this assumption? I think everything is in place.
He's trying to negotiate new TV right deals.
Is he doing it right now?
Yeah. They're in the middle of negotiations for new TV
perfect. I thought that was all...
No.
I thought that was all overdone with settled. In that case, I can see why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
But even still, here's the thing. TV people aren't going to care.
No.
They see basic dollars and cents. The reason why CM Punk was able to get deals for WWE was because CM Punk has made his way enough into mainstream where you can prop him up as a draw.
Yeah.
As much as I hate to say it, because I rag on him a lot, it's the same with somebody like your Roman Reigns. It's the same with somebody like an MJF if you had him available. You can look at those guys and see, okay, those people I know from just random things, or those people I know if I have looked into wrestling casually over the last 10, 15 years. That's somebody good. That's somebody I'd want to watch.
Absolutely.
Those are all these guys care about. Other than your super established WWE guys, or your super established New Japan guys. MJF.
Yep.
That's it. And that's why you're having trouble. And even still, you've got to know when to cut the cord on your WWE guys. or your New Japan guys so that your AEW homegrown talent can flourish. Because that's where the money is. Your short-term gains for Kazuchika Okada, absolutely fantastic, super duper hyped. You're
Absolutely.
5, 10 years down the line, Danielson's going to be gone. Jericho's going to be gone.
Danielson's going to be gone basically after this year, I believe.
Yeah. Danielson's going to be gone. Jericho's going to be gone. Claudio probably winding down. John Moxley, I'm not even going to comment on that one.
I would be surprised if he was gone.
But once all that is stripped away, who's there? I would argue WWE has the same problem, but the difference is they're all WWE guys. Yeah. They've been built mostly as WWE guys. The only ones who I would argue you didn't really build as WWE guys or change into WWE guys are Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles. Which is ironic. Based on what main evented Backlash. But that's the problem. Where are going to be those guys that can go forward through the next generation? We've all got our picks. Other than MJF, who do you have?
For AEW?
Yeah. That are going to be there, that are in the scene now, that are going to be there in, like, say, 5 years.
So what you're saying is 5 to 10 years from now, you think MJF will still be with AEW?
I think he could be.
I think there's potential.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I could see him leaving for WWE.
I could see it too. But I could also see potential. I see the value in building an MJF.
Yeah.
And I feel that that's something that is lost entirely on Tony Khan and almost lost entirely on Triple H. Not lost on Shawn Michaels.
No.
That dude can do it.
Oh, here comes the Braun Breaker argument.
I wasn't going to say anything, but since you want me to. Braun Breaker is an athletic marvel. And once he gets the character down and steps away from the math side of his family, that guy is going to be huge. I'm just gonna say it. If we could have somebody with the athletic ability of Ricochet that could talk,
yeah,
we would not even be needing this discussion. It would be the dream match would be MJF versus that guy.
Yeah,
whoever it was.
But now, a match that we need to see is Braun Breaker versus Braun Strowman.
Oh, absolutely.
That way, Braun Breaker can be the Braun Breaker.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely, I'm completely in agreement. But yeah, no. Now that Backlash is taken care of, we talked about Tony Khan. Let's get to the match of the week for this past week. And with all the
athletic marvel,
with all the respect, it's not even close. I'm very critical of Ricochet.
Yep.
Because I believe there is one supreme flaw in his game, and that is he can't talk worth crap. Now, you disagree with me on that, but the fact of the matter is, I'm not nearly as high on Ricochet as Ben is, or a lot of people within the wrestling community.
Yeah.
But when he pulls off what is unequivocally a 5-star match with Ilya Dragunov,
on a random episode of Raw.
On a random episode of Raw.
In a first-round tournament.
In a first-round tournament in the first
Not
match.
In the main event.
Yeah, in the first match of the first-round tournament.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm sorry. If you're Walter and Sheamus, you should be ashamed. Like, this thing, Ricochet Dragunov, was pay-per-view level. It had me on the edge of my seat the entire way through. And I'm seeing double, and I can barely look at a screen, but I can't look away from this. It was tremendous. Go back and take a look at this. This thing was incredible, an incredible 15-minute match, and it just looked so clean. And there were about 3 different times in the match where I had to double take because it should have been impossible twice for Ricochet, one for Dragunov, for humans to move the way that these two moved.
Yeah, it was almost like they speed ran a match with glitches.
Yes. Oh yeah. It's actually perfect.
Yeah.
It's a tool-assisted speedrun of a 5-star match. It's great.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm gonna sound a little bit like a hypocrite here, but this has been the best match in our matches of the week this year that were not Shawn Michaels beating The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25, which happened this year in 2K24.
But doesn't count towards the overall end game.
Oh no, it does. It does.
No, it doesn't, because it can only happen once.
Yeah,
so
but
it doesn't really count towards the end game.
But still, like Shawn Michaels.
Think about it. Right. He can only be there once, whereas anyone else can.
Oh, you never know. Shawn Michaels could lace up the boots again. I can vote for Shawn for whatever reason. But the fact of the matter is this: you owe it to yourself if you're a fan of modern wrestling or wrestling in the past 6 years, 7 years, to watch Ricochet Dragunov. It is that good.
Absolutely.
It is my match of the year so far that is not Shawn Michaels Taker.
Yeah.
That being said, anything else you want to talk about? Any sort of locked away feelings that you got going on?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
No.
Kind of curious, though. What do you think about CM Punk being locked in WWE headquarters over Backlash weekend?
I want to know why the hell you didn't do another sweep of the building.
I want to know why the hell you didn't call somebody if you were CM Punk.
Oh!
But also, I know the reason.
Yeah.
There is a fully stocked fridge with food and drinks, a state-of-the-art gym, what he claims to be probably the best gym in the world.
Yeah.
He got to watch Backlash on TV because somebody left the TV on too.
Yeah.
He could have just lived there.
Matter of fact, he did for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, for those of you who want to play WWE 2K24, May 15th is a big day for you because it is the Punk ECW pack. CM Punk, the Dudley Boys, Chainsaw Charlie, a.k.a. Terry Funk, and the Sandman. A.k.a.
one more person in that pack.
No, I don't. No, it's CM Punk, the Dudleys, Sandman, Terry Funk.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. It's another pack where it's like, hey, this is some kind of weird pack, and then this person's in it for some reason.
That's the next pack. You're thinking of Post Malone.
I don't think so. I don't think that's a pack I'm thinking.
Are you thinking of the Pat McAfee and the Scrubs?
Possibly.
Okay, because you're not thinking about the actual important pack or the Muda pack.
No, there's just like one pack where it's like, okay, all these guys make sense to be in here together, and then there's just one random person that's like that has nothing to do with these guys.
I swear that's the Post Malone pack.
No, see, it's not the Post Malone pack because I know it's a wrestler. I understand why Post Malone is in a pack like that because he's not a wrestler and he can be thrown in any pack.
Yeah, so, but that being said, if you guys want to download it, it is available May 15th. CM Punk, The Dudleys, Terry Funk, and the Sandman, a.k.a. 4 people that should have been included with the launch of the game, and someone who I'm in absolute shock is actually involved right now in WWE 2K24.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand how you got him in. I don't understand how you were able to hotshot him ahead of people like, say, Lyra Valkyria, Dragon Lee, Carlito, Kairi Sane, people that should have been in the game.
Cargill.
Yeah, Cargill. People who should have been in the game, like right up in front of it. I'm wondering if because he was in, because he came in, if they didn't just switch around the order of the packs.
Probably.
Because I'm sorry, if you look at Jade Cargill, Carlito, Kairi Sane, Dragon Lee, Lyra Valkyria, they're all in the same pack, and there's more. I feel like that is the pack that was going to launch this thing, but then they had CM Punk, and they were able to do it, and somebody at 2K was like, "Yeah, we like money. What the hell? Let's do it." But in any case, objectively, probably number 2 on the list of best packs to have if you're a 2K24 owner.
Absolutely.
Oh, that being said, anything else you need to get off your chest?
I can't think of anything.
We got everything?
I think so. Probably not, but
we good.
So the rest of the draft was underwhelming.
Yes, it was. Aldis was able to get precisely nothing and simultaneously tank his women's division.
Yep.
Pierce came out like a bandit. This felt very night 2 of the draft felt very much like the old Monday Night Raw drafts of 07, 08, where you're like, how are you going to stack the deck for Raw today?
Yeah, and what happened to NXT being included as drafting people? I thought there was supposed to be something there.
Yeah. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what else would have been really cool? As much as I love Ricochet Dragunov, there was one match I wish I could have seen. One match that was advertised for me to see. And one match that you actually got a promo in the show. But then you're like, no, let's move it to the weekend where nobody can see it. And it's Kofi Kingston versus Rey Mysterio. I'm like, of all the first round matches on this card, this was the one that, looking at it, which was advertised to me on Backlash, that was the one I was most excited to see. Now, would it have been as good as Ricochet Dragunov? Hell no. But if you advertise a match for a show, or you advertise a match in a tournament, I don't know. Maybe you should actually think about putting that match that's integral to the tournament on the actual show.
Well, you're just making no sense now.
Well, I'm sorry, you could take out 5 minutes of the Nick Aldis, Cody Rhodes, Logan Paul promo to give to whatever match was postponed on the SmackDown show. And I'm sure with Raw being 3 hours, you could have trimmed the fat off of some stuff that was not, say, Ricochet Dragunov. Anything else could have been trimmed or fine-tuned.
Absolutely.
For Kofi Kingston, Rey Mysterio. Jeez. If I'm either of them, I'm not happy right now, and I wouldn't blame them if they weren't.
Yeah. But I think that's all.
Yeah. Real upper this week, though. WWE's come back. AEW has got one storyline that they're seemingly hoping to be the next Bloodline storyline. I hope to God they know where to cut it, unlike WWE. Things are looking up for the next year of wrestling, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I think that's all we got.
I'm pretty sure that's all we got as well.
Perfect. So I'm Nathan. We will be back at you probably next week, but who the heck knows at this point?
Yay for consistency.
Degen Wrestling, the most inconsistent podcast you will ever see. Thank you guys so much for listening, and shout out to my boy Jerry from Kazakhstan. We will hopefully see you guys next week.
I just think it's funny that you said that it's the most inconsistent podcast that they'll ever see when I don't think anybody's going to see it.
Well, I mean, you don't know, like, maybe not see it live unless we got like random people in our recording rooms.
Oh no, I think like the three people who are going to like put this on, they're going to minimize the screen so they don't see
it. Okay, fine. The most inconsistent podcast that you will see or possibly hear. Because there's a lot more audio podcasts out than there are video ones.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we can't possibly go through them all.
No.
But anyway, thank you guys so much, and we will see you all next week.